and I was the main organizer. So we finished on Friday, very tired and so forth, but it was very successful. So I just want us to remind ourselves where I know last week we covered something on the using some of the functions. But I want us to remind ourselves, did I give out some piece of work or assignment?
Yes, we gave an assignment.
There's an assignment, eh?
Yeah.
So I think we will start reviewing that assignment. Amos, remind me, what was it about?
It was on if and count ifs and nested if.
Okay, fine. Which data were we using? I guess we had some data.
It was employee data.
Okay, employee data. Okay, now I think I will just review that a little bit, and probably show you some two other procedures in Excel, and then from there, what I want to cover today is some two more functions. We will look at sum if and what we call sum ifs, and we'll also have some assignment receipts. So straight away, let me go to my slides, and it should be slide 29. So let me share this. Okay. Yeah, I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, when we talk about the if function, we had said it's one of the most popular function, and it returns two outcomes, one of which is true, and the other one is false. Of course, why is this very popular? It is very popular because, one, sometimes we need for the computer to give us an outcome based on the evaluation that we have done. So you evaluate a column of values or a variable, and once you evaluate, it is going to give you a true or false. So it is normally used for evaluating, and of course expecting some outcome. Now talk about transformation. You transform data from one variable to another one. For example, say for example I have I want to transform a variable of gender, male, female, probably into some coding, some numbers. So I can say if whatever we have in that cell is male, then give me 1. If it is not, then give me 2. Okay. So you transform the data from one variable to another one. Let me give you an example. The employee data that we dealt with is we saw that they are of different ages. Some are aged 25 years, some 30, 39, 50, up to 65. So I may want to group those employees into junior employees, into intermediate employees, and also senior. So already I can evaluate those numbers and have the computer give me a return, of the same. So I'm going to again use that to illustrate and then we will move on if there will be no problem. So straight away, let me go to the data. Yeah, I think I had explained that. The if function, nested if function. Yeah, I'm going to explain all of them together so that we save on time. So let me open employee data. Yeah, it is opening. So as it is opening, that, maybe I can explain something here. I hope you are still able to see my slide presentation again.
Yes, we can. I can see it.
Okay. Now, what we had is, look at this. In terms of the syntax, how the if function is implemented, you can see here that it is pretty straightforward. If C2, I'm trying to select that, sorry. My Excel was trying to open. So we have what? We have if C2 is equal to yes, then it's going to return 1 or 2. And this one is saying that if C2 is yes, then return a 1, otherwise return a 2. Okay. So you can see here, and maybe let me have some blank page. Let me have some blank slides so that okay, remove this. Now what we have we have I'm trying to type this. Oh, the computer is getting slow here, but we'll just be there. Duplicate on the page. It's not serving me well today. Okay, now let me have this. We have equal to, as usual, our formula is going to start with an equal sign. Let me enlarge this a bit so that you're able to see on the other side. So we have equal to. Okay. So the main word there is if. Okay, and then I'm going to have the bracket like that. So it is the keyword if. Then we are going to have the arguments inside here. We're going to have the arguments inside the parentheses. So we are saying what? We are saying we are evaluating a cell, and a cell can be C2. Okay, I'm evaluating that cell. Now, what about this cell? We are saying that if this cell is equal to, okay, let me just go to the specific data. And I think we talked about expatriates and non-expatriates. And you can see there that we have the age was in, maybe I can share again. Can share the Excel file. So I'll be interchanging the two screens. So we have this, or so that I don't switch from one place to another one, let me just share the screen. Yeah, let me share the screen so that I can be moving from one step to another one. So what we have, you can see here that we are interested in this column of age, and we have different ages. We have different ages. Looking at this data here, we have, let me see, let me go down there. The tail end of the data. So I use that one plus control end. Yeah, like that. Now what I want to look at here, I want to look at the maximum age. Yeah, I want to look at the maximum age. And I also want to look at the minimum age. So the maximum age here, equal sign, then I have maximum. Then whatever I'll have in the bracket here will be, this column is
the max.
yes.
X is not X is it should be max instead of max.
Oh yes, correct. Yeah. So we have maximum, and then I can have this column that I'm dealing with should be B1, B2 through
B1 or 1001.
just a minute. I'm seeing. Just okay, fine, it's working. So which column are we dealing with here? Should be E, eh? Is it E or I don't know. Okay, let me just put so that I can correct. Should be E2 through E 1001. Like that, I press enter. It's like not. Let me just get the.
Control
Okay.
home.
Yeah, should be B2. Yeah, B2. Sorry, B2. That's why I was getting a 0. So control end. So I have what here? Should be B. B, then we have here B again. B2. Okay, enter. Am I getting something? Maximum value B1, B2. Is this really B? No, it's not B. Which column is this? Control home again. This age is where? This age is I, sorry, should be I. You can see this. You can see this, the reference is I. So let me go down again. So I have, this should be I, like that. Okay. And I2, then I2 1001. I press enter. Sorry. I2 through I 1001. So I should remove this to enter. Okay, I'm having the maximum age here is 65. So the minimum, I can do the same thing, minimum. Minimum. And then again, of course, it is I2 through I 1001. So I close that parenthesis, press enter. So we have 25. 25 is the minimum age. Now, using the if function, we want to evaluate this column, and we will evaluate so that anything between shared out some age categories. This one here. Yeah, you are seeing my slide. We have 25 to 39. We have 40 to 50, then 55 to 64. So we want to categorize these employees as I remember in the first case it was expatriate or non-expatriate, so that you'll have what? You will have, we are going to have this part here. We have, yes?
We use the countries for expatriates and non-expatriates.
Yes, correct. So it is N2. So we have N2. So this one here is going to be if N2 is equal to, we are evaluating if it is equal to. So remember, this row was
United States.
Yes. I'm trying. My keyboard is not okay. Fine, it's working now. So we have that. We have United States. Okay, then you close that, and then you'll have a comma.
Yeah.
Then once you have the comma, you are going to have. So if it's going to evaluate if it is United States, if N2 is United States, then it's going to be, yes, yeah, non-expatriate. Correct, expatriates. Okay, and then of course, if not,
you left another quotation mark before none.
Yes, before none, because it is a text. It's going to have a text. We are going to have that. That's correct. And now, so this is going to return non-expatriate in the evaluation if it is true. Then it is not. Then it's going to return. It's going to run expatriate. Expatriates. Okay. Now this will work in a situation where we only have two. We are expecting two outcomes. Remember here it is binary. We expect expatriate or non-expatriates. So it's either of the two.
Expatriates, the second one, and there's a quotation mark at the end of expatriate.
Yes, correct. Yeah, we have this one here. Yes, we are, sorry, it should be at the end, like that. So this one is 2. Now we also looked at the nested if. Now what happens is, I hope this is clear. If you can take this to your Excel sheet, it should be able to work as it worked last time. But what I want to mention here is, after this comma, you can see that you may have a space. It doesn't have any effect. So whether you don't have a space there, but it's good practice to have a space after a comma, even in Word. You know, when you are composing a text. So every time there is a comma, there should be a space before something else. But whether you have a space here or not, it is not going to affect. But when you have two spaces, then it might run into problems. Now, again, what we looked at, of course, in your data, are you able to see my data set on your screen? The employee data? Okay, fine. So I think what we worked on last time was you can see this column here. We are able to categorize the employees, so the employees as non-expatriates or expatriates. Now, this is a transformation from column N, from this column here. We transformed from this to that. And that's why we are saying if function can be used to transform. And most of the time, as a data scientist, you may want to transform data. At the point of collecting data, maybe the organization did not foresee a situation where they would wish to analyze or get insights into variable in a particular representation or in a particular manner, and therefore you might want to convert, you might want to transform one variable to another one, then you get some insights on that. Now, quickly, of course, again, we talked about apart from having these two, we can also use nested if function to evaluate a variable and be able to have more outcomes. And an example that we used was the age. See this age here. When you look at this age, we can transform the employee to of course we talked about 25 years to 25 to 39. We can categorize this as junior employee. Those who have joined the work. Then we have 20 to 54, I think. We categorize this one as intermediate employee. Intermediate. And the other one, 55, over 55, I think. Yeah, 55, over 55, or 55 to 64. 64. This one we categorize that is a senior. You see now what happens here when we have these three. We are now transforming age into these three categories, and what happens here? We will have the if function, which is going to evaluate that, and the if function we will have the parentheses. Then within this, so remember this if value will have its own arguments. Let me use red. Let me color red. Now, but then again, we are saying within this if function, we will have another if function. Okay, we will have another if function. Let me use that. So we are going to have a comma, then another if function, and this if function will have its own parentheses. Okay. And again, we can also have another if function. So this one is going to have its own arguments. Let me use red again so that I'm able to differentiate. And I can have another if function. So I'll have if function. I want to use a different color. Let me use a different color. Maybe a green. Okay. So that I will have another function here, comma. Then also changing the color. So anyway, so we have if, another if, and then we have like that. So you can see these three. I mean, these two. This parenthesis here is for the third if function. This one and this one, the second one here, is going to be the parenthesis for this other if function, and then we're going to the last one here. The last one here. We have the last one here. This one here, and this one for the outer if. So here I have three if, and here we are going to have what we call nested. You are having an if function within another function. Okay, so this one can work well with these three because we are going to group these employees into three categories. So I can have what I can have. Let me see what I have in my data here. So I can have what here? Let me have, let me say employee category, or let me say employee status, whichever you would want to use. So I'm going to have that. So I'm going to have equal to, okay. Then I'll have if, and if this if, I'm going to have what? I'm going to evaluate. Remember, I'm going to transform this variable of age. This is I. So if I, sorry, if I2, Now, this one you need to be a bit clever, because remember the age we had 29 to 39 is junior. So anybody below 39, is going to be junior. So I'm going to have equal to if I2, I can say less than or equal to 39. I'm saying that because it has to be inclusive. The value has to be inclusive, 39 and below. So 39 is inclusive. That's why I'm saying less than or equal to. The return will be junior, and this junior is a text, so you must have it within the quotation marks. So we have junior, then we have that. Okay. Now then I can have another if function again. Now after a comma, I have another if function, and this if function will have its own arguments again. So I'll have the parentheses for that. And in this one here, I'm still evaluating I2. So I have I2, and we are evaluating. So the next category will be 40 to 54. So I can have anything less than or equal to 54. So I'll have if I2 is less than or equal to 50.
54.
54, yes. Then it's going to return me what? That should be intermediate, yes. Intermediate. Okay. Then lastly, intermediate should be in quotation again, because it's a text, it's a string. Then I'll have a comma. Then I have the last if function now. The last if, then we have its own parentheses again. And inside here, we'll have I2 again. And you can choose to say less than or equal to 65, or you can even say more than. You can even say more than 54. Or you can say, you see, depending on how you look at it, you can have more than or greater than or equal to 55. Okay, it can still work. In fact, you'll find that you may have 3 different formulas for that. So if I press enter, sorry, something I've not. So if this one is less, we have junior. So of course I've not added the other argument, which should be now senior. Senior. Senior should be NIOR. So I close that. Let me press enter and see. Yeah, it is working. So anyway, you may have different versions of the formula, and in fact, what I found out in this exercise is that we have 3 different formulas, and maybe let me share so that I hope I have that. I can share that. I have 3 different formulas which can work for that. Let me check.
In fact, I used 2 ifs.
You used 2 ifs, or the last one.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it still came true. So the last one was like a true or false. So the false now defaults to
takes care of the other one, yes.
To senior.
Yeah, correct. So I think what happens is, let me see if I captured 3 different formulas which I was able to use. Let me see. Yeah, just like what Amos is saying there. Yeah, I have these formulas here. Let me copy so that I hope you're able to see this. I have two different formulas,
Okay.
which of course can work. But
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
you may find that, yeah, like here I have, you can see the first one here. Now, the one that you are saying, Amos, is the one like for this one here.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because the the less than equal to 39 is going to take care of junior. Now this last one, this last if, is going to take care of senior and intermediate. So if you can have this, is also correct, because the scenario here is you are trying to evaluate the first one and the other two, so it can work with two ifs function. Okay, but the idea here is using if function to evaluate more than two categories of data, so that you are going to have what? You are going to have the 3, 4, 5 categories and so forth. Now, I hope that is clear. Unless somebody has a problem, maybe I can find out if there's somebody who could be having a problem. David, Ruth. Is there anybody with a problem apart from Amos, David, and Ruth?
Oh, no.
You are okay?
Yes.
It's great to hear that. I hope you are getting the concepts, David.
Somehow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you need to. When you get lost on the way, then it's one way of learning. So you can keep trying that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So now I want us today to look at two more functions which are very important, and again, it has the component of if, and this one is if, some if and some ifs. So that's what I want us to look at this lesson, and I'm going to probably give out some piece of work at the end. So there are some situations where you can use whatever we have learned, and I want you to carry on with the practice. So I want us to look at sum if function, and we also have what we call sums if. Now the sum if function, the way it is, remember, if was used to evaluate a variable and be able to return to give some outcome. And we are adding this word sum before if. So definitely there will be summation at some point. And sum if function is used to calculate the sum of values based on a single criterion. We have one criteria, and then we are summing. And actually what it involves, sum if function involves two variables. One of the variable will give the criteria, and the other variable will be the one to be summed. So giving the idea that we have values. So one of the variable should be a variable with values. It could be currency, it could be numbers and so forth. And of course, the syntax here is sum if. Then the arguments will have the range. We have the criteria, and then we have the sum range. So these three are separated by a comma. They're separated by a comma, like that. So what we'll have is the first argument, which is range, is basically the range with which we are going to get the criteria from. Okay, then criteria is actually what are we evaluating here? Remember, it has the if component. So we will evaluate, and then we are going to sum the other variable based on what? Based on the criteria. So I'm going to use an example of property and value commission. I have some data set which gives some value, and I'm going to open that. Yeah, we have this one here. Yeah, I'm opening that. So you can see here that I'm just using a simple example. Then we will go to the employee data. Now, what we have here is we have two columns. We have the first one is property value. Yeah, properly in whichever currency, dollars, Kenya shillings, and so forth. Then we have the commission. Sometimes when in business you sell something of particular value, then you get a commission. A commission is a payment which you are given as a result of selling selling something or selling a service and so forth. So what we have is, you can see here that in this first column we have property value. I say it could be in Kenya shillings, it could be in US dollars, but let me use this Kenya shillings. Okay, and then this is the commission again, probably in Kenya shillings, like that. So what we will have is we want to sum probably the commission that someone has after selling a property worth this value. Let me ask this question here. Okay, just this one aside, let me ask another one. Let me ask another question, which is from this data set. And I can say how much. Maybe I can use a different color. How much can one, or let me say how much commission will one earn by selling property? Worth at least 160,000. Yeah, I may pose such a question, right? That of course I said let me use Kenya shillings as a currency, just the way you could use dollar. Now you see this question here. We are trying to evaluate commission, and this commission is actually this particular column here. Okay, so we are evaluating actually this one, and what we are evaluating is what you see. We are evaluating this column based on a criteria in column A. Okay, so the evaluate, I mean, whatever we are trying to compute is the sum or on this column B, but based on criteria I mean in column A. So you can see here that we have what, this is a question which somebody has posed. How much commission will one earn by selling property worth? So you can see here, this one here is the property value, and here is actually talking about the commission in another column. So we are trying to get the summation or sum of values in one column, but basing on the criteria or criterion in another column. Okay, so we are actually dealing with two columns here. So if I ask you this question, then you can see here that we have this. We want to get the sum of this, but based on this criteria. I talked about so the criteria here, the criterion. Let me say criterion because it's one. We are talking about any property value more than 160,000. Okay, so what will happen is the formula will evaluate any value over 160,000 here. Okay, and it's going to sum for us this one here. So how will it go about? So in this syntax here, you can see the syntax here. We'll have the range, and this range is the one for the criteria, and then the criteria, now we have the sum range. So this sum range is actually, in our case, is actually the commission. The commission. So in our formula, we'll have what? We'll have, let me have it down here. So I'll have an equal sign just like any other formula. Let me enlarge this one a bit so that comes clear on your end. So we have equal sign. No, I'm not enlarged. I can use what? 60, maybe. 60, 66, okay. So I'll have an equal sign. Then I'll have the keyword there, sum if, of course. Then I'm going to have the parentheses. Then inside here, so we said we'll start with what? We're going to start with the range. Is this one here. And which range are we using? In our data, you'll have you'll have this. So remember, we'll be evaluating this part here. Okay, so it will actually be A2 through A5. So I can have sum if. So I will have the first range, that is A2 through A5. And then I'll have a comma. Then after the comma, now I'm going to have what? I'm going to have the criteria. This one here. And the criteria that we are using is, we are saying, we are saying A2 should be more than 160. That will be the criteria, 60,000. And then now, after the comma, what are we trying to sum? We are going to sum the other column, which is B2 through B5. So I'm going to have B2 through B5. So I'm composing that. So we have after space, I have B2 through B5. B5. So now, so what's happening here is, this is the first, this is whatever variable we are going to base on this criteria, and then whatever column we are going to sum is this one. Okay, so remember, sum if, this should be sum if, let me say sum if. Sum if, this is a sum if is just based on one criteria or a criterion. Sum ifs, as we'll be able to see shortly, is based on several criteria. Okay. Now let me see if this one can work. This one can work. Copy. Then I can paste it here. Sorry, I'm supposed to recopy this formula. If it's not working, we'll just compose directly there. Yeah, it's not. So let me see. Sum if A2, A5, okay, A2 more than 6,000, you have B2, B5. So now this one is, let me just compose directly. Let me just compose directly because sometimes it might fail. Maybe spaces, maybe there are some spaces. Okay, it's not working. Let me just compose directly equal to sum if, then I have parentheses there. So I can just now instead of typing the reference, you can as well select like that. Okay, then I have a comma. Then I have, it should be A2 equal to more than was 160 63. Then we have a comma. Then we are going to have this other one. Sorry. Yeah, so we have that. Let me see. It's working. A2 is more than 60. It's not. Is there anything I'm forgetting here? Let me see. Check. Sum if this one. A2 is more than 60. Okay, fine. Now I've seen some problem here. I think what needs to be done, you need to put here. You need to put here this quotation mark. I'll tell you why. Let me see if that one can work. Because let me see. We have that more than. So let me put that and then put that. Is it working again? No, not yet. On 60. So we sum this if. Okay, let me now. I don't know why it is not working. Let me just have the two. Let me just confirm. This one had worked. We just confirm this. Just okay. Let me just look at this one again. So 160,000. Yeah, let me just have this. Okay. Why it is giving me a 0? Are we there? Okay, now. I hope my Excel file is editable. I don't know why it's not working. Let me see this. General. Let me see. Number. Okay. I don't know why it's not working. Let me. Hey, I'm trying to see because this formula had worked before. I'm trying to see where I had that. Am I not getting the criteria right? I don't know. Let me. I think the range is okay. Yeah, the problem could be here. The problem could be here. The criteria. Let me check here. Yeah, there's a problem here. The difference, the criteria should be alone. That's what I'm trying to get now. So equal to. I think I'm getting where the problem is. We have some if, then we will have this as the first, and then we have the comma. Then we have the criteria here. So the criteria should be 160,000. So we have what? More than 160. thousand in that, and then we have a comma, then we have this other range, that, and I can close that. Okay, I think it's working. Now what's happening here? You need to be very careful how you write the criteria. Yeah, I think I was taking it obvious that you will have A. So you can see here, this one is the right criteria. This is how you will put your criteria. So let me put it here so that it becomes clear. So you see this part here. This should not be there. Okay. You basically have more than, like this. In what? In the quotation. Okay. So this was the part which was giving a problem, and it has taken me a chunk of time. So the reference has no problem. A2, A5, then B2, B2, B5. Okay. So you're going to have what? You are going to have the criteria within the quotation, and that quotation must have more than. Yeah. I'm appreciating the fact that these applications keep on changing, so you need to take note of that. So I hope that is clear.
Can you?
Hello, is that clear, Amos?
Can you please go back and do it like for some 1 minute? I see in the data that we had. Now that we know how to write the formula, I didn't see clearly how to write it. I'm sorry.
So I can go back to the Excel file.
The
So I'm
data.
here. Yeah, I'm there. So you can see here. Actually, the problem
Share your
was.
screen.
We can't see your screen. Please share your
Oh, okay.
screen.
Okay. Sorry. Let me share that again. Yeah. So it is here. so you can see the formula here that where it was we had a problem was this part on the criteria. So you basically give the criteria straight away without any reference because the reference is already there, and you can see that the slumping, the greater than sign, and then 160,000. So you can see that one is the criteria that we are talking about. Now I want us to try something on the
Wait.
same. Yes.
I'm sorry to interject. Now what is this? There was some 63,000 here in
Yes.
column C. Where is
Yes.
it? Where is it gone again?
It's
So what
here,
is
it's
this
here.
63,000?
Now this is a summation. It is a sum of you see we are saying you are evaluating one variable and trying to sum another variable. So you are summing based on the criterion that we have in another column. So here what is basically happening here is we are actually trying to answer this question. How much commission? I believe you know what happens in the business world. Yeah. So you see when you sell a property worth some value, you get a commission. So the commission here, what we are trying to sum here is we are saying fine. Supposing I sell property, from our data here. If I sell property worth 100,000, then I get commission of 7,000.
7,000.
Yes, 200,000 I get 14,000, 300,000, 21,000, then we have 400,000, you get 28,000. So supposing I sell property worth
More than 160,000.
yes, more than 160,000. So it means
So
what?
that will be the sum of 14,000, 21,000, and 28,000.
Correct. Then it
That
will
is
give you
what is
63.
giving us 63,000. Okay, got you.
Yes, yeah. So let me even add you something. I want you to get the sum, okay? The total commission that one can get by selling property worth over 300,000. Or let me say over 250,000. Yes.
But again, was it necessary for us to include B2, B5 here?
Yes, because we have to include this column because it's the column that we are going to sum, but
Okay.
now based on this other column.
Okay.
So it was necessary to have the cell reference for this and also
And the
the cell
other one.
reference for this other one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope that is clear. Yes.
Okay.
So I wanted to okay, go ahead. Yes.
I have a question. There is 160,000 is a price.
Yes.
And then we end up summing up the commissions.
Yes.
I don't get a correlation. I mean, between the 160,000 and those absolute numbers, and then the commissions that are also being added.
Okay. Now let me use a different scenario so that probably you may be able to get. I don't know, Amos, if you want me to use which area you want me to use, academic environment or business environment.
I think, I mean, any can do.
Okay, fine. Let me have this. From a business, or let me use an academic environment because all of us have gone through an academic institution. Supposing I'm a head of a school or the principal, then in my analysis of data, I want to get insight whether there are these categories of students who have fees arrears, and I really want to make a decision whether I should send a particular group home because they have balances. So let me say I have students who have fees less than 20,000. I have one category who have fees less than 20,000, and I have another category who have fees more than 20,000.
Yes.
So I might say, fine, let me get a sum of all the fees for students who have more than 20,000. Then I also have those less than 20,000. So by summing, I may reach a decision whether to send those who have more than 20,000 or those who have less than 20,000. So if I sum, if I carry out the summation of the total fees owed by students with more than 20,000, and I find that it is less than those who have less than 20,000, then it means that probably the majority of students who have fees more than less than 20,000 are actually having a chunk of the school fees, which will enable me to run the school. So I might decide to send those with less than 10,000 as opposed to those who have 20,000. I don't know if you are getting that concept.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yes. So it means what? It means that I may be having 70% of the school have fees less than 10,000. So I might not, it will be meaningless for me to send a few students, that is 30%, who have fees more than 20. So because I'll not achieve the objective of getting money to run the school. So in such a situation, I will look at the column or the column of the fees I'll look at those who have less than 20. What is the sum total of their fees? Those who have more than 20. So you can see the criteria here is looking at the fees that we have and summing. So summing is going to do two functions. One is going to sum a particular column. Like for example, in this case, the school fees is going to sum, but based on whether the students have more than 20,000 or less than 20,000.
Okay.
And I can authoritatively, confidently say, let me send this group because they have the money. And those who have, by the way, those who have less fees, may have the ability to pay, may have the ability to pay, as opposed to somebody who has more arrears. So you can now see how they're correlated here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Correlation is not the best term to use, but you can see that relationship of we are trying to sum this based on a criteria of another set of data. Yeah, I hope that is helping a bit.
Yes, some.
Okay, now I want us to take a small break. But before I take a break, I want to give you just something to try. I don't know how long we will take for the break. We'll take a very short break so that when we come back, we cover ifs. Or let's just have a break for 5 minutes so that we are back at 4:25, around 4:25. Now, I'm going to look at the ifs function. The ifs function is just the same as the ifs function is just the same as the if function. It's only that it has more if. It is, you are evaluating something now on more criteria. The other one was criterion, which means you only use one. As you can be able to see here, this was only one criteria. Okay, criterion. So we look at one where we have more than one criterion, and that's where now the ifs function comes in. Okay. So we can take a small break for 5 minutes. You can grab a glass of water, and 4:25 we will look at ifs function, and then we will be able to close. Okay, thank you very much. See you.
All right.
Yes, I hope we are back. Let me find out. Amos, are you already back? So I hope we are already back. Are we back already? I want to find out Amos, Ruth.
I'm here.
Okay, Amos.
Maybe he's still not back.
Okay. Now, because we only have, I think we have only 5 minutes to the end of the lesson. Yvonne, we will stop at 30 minutes past the hour.
Okay, it's 3 minutes to the time you are saying.
Yeah, in fact, I should take a small time, but I hope Amos is back. So Ruth, I'll request 5 minutes.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'll request 5 minutes. I hope Amos will join soon so that what I want to demonstrate is it will just take about 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh, you are there. Thank you. Okay, let me just take small time. I know you people you are headed for to sleep, so I'll just take small time to explain what I want to explain because the foundation is built on the sum if, the one that we've just looked at. So as I said, the sum if function, remember, it's just like sum. It's only that we have added s. I hope I'm sharing my screen. Are you seeing my screen, please?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Let me just. Okay. So I hope it's now there. Now, what we have is the function that we have just concluded is just like this one here. The only difference is that we have added s. My thinking tells me that probably the person who was formulating this formula would have you added s because of the multiple criteria that we are going to use. Remember, sum if only had one criterion. So this other one has several criteria. So sum if function is a function which is used to meet multiple criteria. So it will again add. It's going to have the sum. It's going to carry out the summation, but based on multiple criteria. That's why when you look at the syntax here, we have the sum ifs. Then this is the sum range. This is the column that we are going to sum. Okay. And the criteria range 1 is the criteria which we will use to evaluate so that we can sum range, this sum range. Okay. Now then we have criteria range 1. Of course, we have the sum, the range that we are going to sum. Now, this other one, criteria range 1, is actually the column or the variable where we are going to get this criteria 1. Okay. And then this criteria 2 is going to be another range, which will be based on criteria 2. Now, we are going to use an example so that we understand better. And we have a question here. Last time Yvonne shared with you some data, and I have that data here. Now, in this data, it's about sales. It's about sales, and I think these persons were selling items like binders. We have desks. We have pens. We have pen set. We have pencil. Now I can talk about stationery. Let me say they are stationery. So these people here, Givel, Jones, Perrin, Morgan, Gill, they are selling these binders, but in different regions. We have the regions here. Okay, and we have the units and the unit cost, and then we have the cost. Now last time you were trying to get the total, or let me say amount. Just to take you back a bit, you were multiplying the units by the cost. Oh, it's already multiplied here. No. Let me not do that because it's already done here. Probably I can do away with this then. You see this one, you are taking 50 units and you are selling at 19.99, then you are getting the total here. So this is what was sold by Givel in Central. Okay. Now what we want to do here, suppose we want to find out, and the question is here, we want to determine the total cost of binders sold by who? By Jones. Okay. So from our data set here, just have I closed it again? Yeah, from our data set here, we will focus on what? We will focus on column G because we are interested in the total sales made by Jones, but not on all items, on only binders. I believe we all understand binders. Binders are machines that we use for binding, book binding, so forth. So you see here, but we are summing this column G based on this criteria at this column. The criteria in this column is we are interested in Jones only. We are not interested in the other employees or other salespeople, okay, or representatives for that matter. We are only interested in Jones. And in this other column D, we are interested in the item. And that's why we are asking here, we want to determine the total cost or total sales of binders by who? By Jones. So you can see here that we will be interested in getting the total cost, and this one will be obtained from the column that has the cost, which is G. We are interested in this column, and this is the one that we are going to sum. But we will sum this one based on criteria C and D. So criteria C and D is actually this one, which is criteria C, D, and then this one is D. So we have two criteria here. We will get the total cost by summing, but we will sum based if that particular cost is meeting this condition or this criteria of the item being binders, and we have the personnel or the representative who is Jones. So the difference between some if and some ifs is because it comes in as a result of the criteria, multiple criteria that we are using. Okay. Now let's go back to the practicals here. So here I'm interested in the total cost of binders sold by Jones. So here, what I'll do here is, of course, I can input my formula here. So I can say binders sold, or I can even say total cost, total sales, and this total sales is in US dollars, I think. Okay. By total sales of binders sold by Jones. Okay, so I can have it here. So I can evaluate it here. So as usual, the equal sign will be there. We have the equal sign. Then in our syntax here, we will have the sum range. What are we going to sum? The sum range. So what I'm going to sum is actually, I'm going to sum this range that is from G2 all the way. There's something I've forgotten here. I've forgotten to put the keyword. I forgot to put the keyword here. So I'll have equal sign. Then I have some ifs. Then I'll have the parentheses there. So we are saying the first argument will be the sum range. So the sum range here will be this one here. From here, I can just select by dragging up to here. Okay. Then I'll have a comma. After the comma, I'm going to have the criteria range 1. So the criteria range 1 is, we want binders. Binders. You can have binders as criteria range 1, or you can have the representative. Okay. So whichever, it can still work. So what we have here is, you will have criteria, we will have the criteria range 1. So the first criteria will be, I can use this one here. So I can select this. That's column D. So I can select that. So that will be the criteria range. Criteria range 1. Then now, based on this, what we want is binder. So that should be in quotation. We have binder. Okay, binder. Then I close that. Then the next one will be, you can see from here. So I put criteria range 1, and then the criteria is binder, and then we have criteria range 2. Criteria range 2 will be this other part. Criteria range 2 will be for the representative, so I can select this. So criteria range 2, can select that. Okay. And now after the criteria range 2, I'm interested in Jones, so I can have this one like that, and then enter. Okay. So you can see here that, okay, you can ignore the other part. You can ignore the other one. Yeah, you can go there. So we have what we have. So you can see from this formula that this formula is going to work here. Let me put it here. Yeah, you can see now this one here. Sorry, which one was I? No, sorry. I can put here. It's supposed to be here. We put 60. That. So you can see here that this is the formula that is going to affect the question that we have. So we'll have the first reference here is G2 G44, which is actually this is the range that we are going to sum. This is the total cost or the total sales. Okay. Then this one here is going to be criteria range 1. Criteria range 1, we are basing it on the item. So binder. So you can see criteria range 1 and then criteria 1. So it's going to evaluate this criteria based on this range. And then again, criteria 2, criteria range 2 is this one here. And then the criteria is Jones. So it's going to get the sum of this, but based on this criteria and this one here. Yeah, I hope that is clear. Let me find out if you are okay, then we can stop there. Are we somewhere?
So basically, well, let me ask you something small before we finish.
Yes.
So basically, these formulas you have to come up. You have to make them by yourself.
Now, yes, I would say yes, because they are inbuilt, but you really have to formulate yourself. Depending on the objective. You see what drives you to come up with a formula. You will not come up with this formula, just for the sake of it. You really have to, you want to solve this problem. You want to solve this problem. How will you go about? In fact, the best way to learn is, now I have data. This is what I want to do. How am I going to achieve it? So the formula you must have the understanding so that you are able to compose them.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Amos?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, now I think we have learned something about some and some ifs. I hope you are somehow okay. I'll share some small assignment that you will work on.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. So I think we can stop there. I know you people, you are about to sleep or something. Then we will link up in the next class. Thank you very much for coming around, and see you next time.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and
Okay.
good night.
Yes.
Good night.
No, it's
Good night,
later.
everyone.
It's morning
Good morning.
where you are. No, it's morning where you are.
Yeah. Good
It's
morning.
morning over there. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.